Welcome to the Z-Lister podcast. I'm your host, Austin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Adam,
Welcome back, guys, for another review.
and my other co-host, Maynor.
Hello, I'm excited for this week.
So am I. And for this week, we have the review of The Death of Robin Hood, A24's new release. But before we get into that, we want to do our weekly segment of what we're watching. So, Maynor, I'm going to start with you this week. What have you been watching this past week?
Here, hold up. I finally updated all my
Mm,
letterbox activity since Adam's
mm,
been bitching to me about it.
mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da. Actually, I don't even know how to see it,
Which I
but
don't
I
know
did
why you're not
watch.
doing it. I don't know why you're not updating it.
I
It's
I,
crazy.
I just forget. But the other day, I finally did it. But I recently watched Exit 8, the Exit 8.
Uh-huh.
That's based on the video game. It came out, I think, late or mid-April.
Hmm.
I think it was like a limited release. It's a really fun movie. It's another take like on the minimal space. And it's like to kind of tell like what the plot is. It's just this guy gets stuck on the loop on this train station. And he's just trying to get out, but every single time he starts from level 0 and he has to get all the way to level 8. But
Hmm.
every single level there's like an anomaly, and he has to look out if there's an anomaly. It can be like the sign might be flipped or it might be mirrored or something like that. And if he doesn't see it, then he just has to go all the way back to level 0.
Hmm.
And it's good. It's a really good take because the game is just like that. It's very
Mhm.
simple. And I love the beginning because the beginning, like the first 5-10 minutes, is like a first person POV.
Hmm.
And then it becomes like third person. And I like how they added like a really good story to the character and gave the main character at least like a background and everything. And I highly recommend it.
Hmm.
It's a
What do you
fast
what do you
watch
watch it
also.
on?
I use my website.
Okay, that answers it.
But then you
I
can
feel
get it
like
like on Prime Video for like you can rent it for like $3.
I felt like this one would have made like a good like headway with because I definitely got overshadowed by like Obsession and Backrooms because it's one of those movies where it's adaptation of a video game. But I was actually wanting to like watch this also. I just could not find it. But I guess I know.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's all on Japanese. So I think like
yeah,
with it having to read subtitles, it probably if even if it was released here like a big release, it wouldn't have made that much money.
Yeah.
no big deal. Once I turn the subtitles on, I understand Japanese.
Yeah, exactly.
Adam, what have you been watching this past week?
Other than the review we're doing now, probably one episode of Love Island,
Mm.
and to be honest, I don't even want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about the box office bomb that Obsession and Backrooms are having over Disclosure Day. It is crazy
Oh,
because
Oh,
it
really?
might outgross Steven Spielberg's movie with these
Mm.
like younger directors, which is absolutely crazy, which is good for the industry because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we look forward to many more. Because right
yeah.
now, the total gross right now of Obsession, which I know came out like 6 weeks ago, is $217 million right now,
Mm.
and Backrooms at 175 with a 4 week like release test schedule,
Yeah.
but which is crazy. Hasn't even reached in the 100 millions at this point. It has been out for 2 weeks now. Is
Mm.
81 million for Disclosure Day.
Yeah,
But I
that's
feel
not
like people are
good.
not really going out to watch Disclosure Day. I don't know if it's not marketed well because it is marketed
Hmm.
to our sense. Like for our community, we go to the movies all the time and we see this
I'll be
film
right
in
back.
trailers.
Hmm.
And for it not to like peak by 100 million by 3 weeks, do you think that's concerning at all for Spielberg?
Uh, you know what? I just think it came out.
Came out at
I
that
think
time,
it's
maybe.
yeah. I think it's 50-50. I think that this movie isn't doing as good as you would want it to, considering it's
Hmm.
Spielberg, it's Universal. But right now, it's like okay, the casual fan is probably going to go see one movie every few weeks, like every six
Right.
weeks, maybe every couple months. So now that Obsession and Backrooms are like, everybody's talking about, it's like that casual
Hmm.
fan's like, okay, I'm going to go see one, maybe two, but they're probably not going to go see a third movie in a month, you know. And so,
So it's been Toy Story 5 just came out last week.
mhm.
Can you guess where it's at the moment?
It came out last week.
Yeah, so it's been almost exactly 1 week.
I'm going to say 100 million.
$177 million already,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's not crazy because it's a children's film and
yeah,
summertime, but I'm
yeah.
like that's to almost more than double the grossing of Disclosure Day. Has been out for
Hmm.
less than a week. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, you add that on top of it, like a kids movie. Parents are going to take their kids to go see it.
right.
Like it's just, I think it's just a
They
bad
might watch
time.
them multiple times, but yeah, it's just a bad time. I
Yeah,
mean, you think it's a summer, but sometimes people's interest just kind of
yeah,
veering away from Steven Spielberg type films nowadays.
mm. Yeah. I just think it came at a bad time. But
And Scary Movie too, 98 million.
yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dang. Yeah. So yeah. See, if Disclosure Day is doing the same thing as Scary Movie, that's kind of crazy.
it was less than Scary Movie, 10 million. It's crazy.
That's yeah.
But
But
yeah, I just want to talk about that. It's something
yeah.
news related in our realm right now.
No, no. It's good to see
Hmm.
because it's like the money isn't like it's not like nobody's going to the theater. It's I think they're just
Yeah.
going to see other things. And
And
so
this movie we're reviewing,
mhm.
3 million so far
Yeah,
made. Yeah. I
I
mean, I don't
figured
expect people to go and watch
yeah.
this
Yeah, there
unless
was
it's
only
the
one
three of
other
us.
person in my theater when I went to watch it with Rayleigh.
You know what? It was
Um,
actually pretty full for mine. And
really? Hmm.
we'll get to it in a bit on how the
Hmm.
audience felt about it. But
Yeah.
I guess we can go ahead and get started with our spoiler-free review.
Yeah. So, I'll just start it off. I thought this was a very solid movie.
Hmm.
I like this director, Michael. Oh, I forgot to say his last name. But he's directed two other films, Pig with Nicolas Cage,
Hmm.
and he did the
Sarnoski.
last. Yeah, and he did the last Quiet Place, and I like both of those movies. And this is just another check mark for him. I
I think that's
love the
why I
dark.
had such high hopes because I enjoyed the last Quiet Place
Mm,
film. And
yeah, yeah. I saw what you gave it on Letterboxd. This movie.
is that rated
So
already? That's
you
high
did.
hell.
But yeah, no. I thought it was a really good, solid movie. I like dark, like gritty films like that. That's just my particular taste, and so this was right up my alley. So yeah, I enjoyed this.
I felt like gritty was a stretch. I mean, maybe the first hour of this film was
Yeah,
gritty.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I kind of expect like when I knew that like turning point of the movie happened, and I was like, okay, I can get along with it. It just has to
Mhm.
sell me on what it's trying to show me in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maynard, what were your initial thoughts before we go into the review? Initial thoughts.
For the Robin Hood movie?
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God.
Don't get us
It was a
excited.
slow start. It
Mm.
was a very slow
Oh,
No,
oh,
no,
slow
no.
start.
It's
It
slow
Slow
start.
start.
was. It
That's
was.
where I gotta
Even
disagree.
Yeah, me too.
I think even like that first beginning action scenes, like I don't know. I
That
think
was a slow
Oh,
start.
it's just
dude.
it was I don't know. I felt like it was just taking forever. And then
Oh my
also
god.
they have it's not even British. I think it's like a bit of Irish
Oh,
accent.
yeah,
And it was
yeah.
so hard to understand what they were saying. So those first 10, 15
Yeah.
minutes of conversation, I was like, I don't know what
I
y'all are
need the
saying.
subtitles.
I agree. I agree. I thought, yeah, the first 20 minutes, I was really struggling to hear, like, I would hear every other word for certain like scenes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm kind of struggling to hear what they're saying. Um,
But yeah, I think it did. For me personally, it did start slow.
mhm.
I did
Man.
like how it looked though. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
enjoyed the look of it and how it's shot. It was
yeah,
just
it's
like
just,
that's not the issues I had with the
it,
movie.
yeah.
yeah. For some weird reason, I think once we get to like where the story's fully set for the rest of the movie, I
Hmm.
was really enjoying that, and I think I was really liking the
Ah,
conversations between Hugh Jackman and the main lead actress as well. I
yeah.
Hmm.
thought they had like a really good chemistry.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Like the action set pieces in the beginning, I really did enjoy,
Hmm.
but I don't know why it was just like it just felt like it felt kind of slow getting there, and then like that ended real quick, and then that was just about it.
Well, let's jump into it, man. If you have not seen the movie, cut off the video here. If you have, stick with us. We're jumping right in. So apparently, the slowest part of the film for Maynard,
Yeah.
which is very crazy. We open up. It's set in 1247 England, and we see a young woman wandering the hills, and she finds this man, and she asks him for food. And as we know that it is Robin Hood, it is Hugh Jackman, and she asked him about Robin Hood and like, have you heard these stories? And he says, don't believe those stories, they're lies, which is a main theme of this whole movie. Robin Hood was not a good man, he says, and then that, I mean, it starts off from there. This is really, I'm really, I don't understand. I'm surprised you're saying that this was slow because the first 20 minutes of the movie are the
Hmm.
fastest paced parts of the movie. And so we see immediately after that scene, she tries to sneak up on him. And man, he just takes her out fast.
And that's
I love this scene.
calling this slow, like a slow
Yeah.
movie, is
I think like for
absolutely
me,
crazy.
like I'm calling it slow because like yeah, that the death scene happened, but even to get to that death scene, it was kind of just like them conversating, and it felt to
Well, yeah,
me, it
you
was
gotta
like
build up the lore. It's the first
no,
10
no,
minutes of
I
the movie,
understand that,
Maynard.
but I feel like it, which I feel like from where the movie started to like where the girl died, it was probably like 10 minutes. But for me, for some weird reason, it was just feeling longer. And I think it's because
Mm,
also in my head, I was trying to understand what the hell they were saying throughout
Mm,
most of that.
mm,
And
fair.
it
yeah.
also happened like later on in the movie with the other set, like action set piece.
Hmm. Yeah, Adam, what do you think about their conversation, first of all, and then what ends up happening to the girl?
So I've I already kind of had an idea going into this Robin Hood story. It's not the typical like sunshine and
Hmm.
rainbows and all that. It's more of a gritty feel, like you said at the beginning of this review.
Hmm.
And I was not, I forgot this is like a more, I don't know if it's PG-13, but it's definitely rated R.
No, it's
Definitely rated
R.
R.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Yeah, did
yeah.
not expect that. Threw me off for a loop. So I was like, oh shit,
Mm,
this is how it's gonna be.
mm,
Maybe I set my mind into that type of realm or too fast because when it switched up like halfway through it and it became more of like an exposition type of
yeah.
drama, and then that's where it kind of threw me off. But I definitely enjoyed the first 25 minutes of this film,
Hmm.
which is fine. You can switch it into the more theatrical part of telling the story of how Robin Hood is actually not the man he is, and he's like regrets all the sins are coming back to him, and which is
Hmm.
the overarching theme of this story.
Yeah.
I felt like you could have thrown in maybe a small like third act scene, which I was expecting to happen, but it started off great. It started off strong. It hooked me right away.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly like enjoying it until the later half.
Yeah. No, no, it definitely has a strong, in my opinion, a strong opening.
Hmm.
And as you were saying, he even asks her as he's killing her, who's your family? And she tells him, and then we see him bury her along with a whole bunch of other people. So it tells us that this has been happening. They're still coming after him. He's probably killed a few people in the past few days.
Which was a dope shot. I enjoyed that one. It was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And so we fast forward and we see someone meet up with Robin Hood, and it's Little John, his partner in crime. And Little John asks him to, first of all, to help him take back his home because his home was raided by another family. I didn't quite, this is where I was a little confused because I didn't quite understand why it was happening, why it happened. And
or
so
how it happened also.
yeah, so I because even when he was describing like who are you now? Oh, I'm Edward. I thought
Hmm.
he's like I killed Edward and now I took his place, but then he was talking about
Yeah.
his wife like he had been with her and that it was his
Hmm.
child. So I was a little confused there. That's yeah, and I think the dialect has something to do with it, but I'm like, wait, did he kill Edward and then how does he assume Edward? So I don't what I understood is that he does and he kills someone named Edward and then just
Hmm.
takes his identity and everything else. He's been Edward for years now.
Hmm.
And so that's how
I
I
took
understood it.
I took it more as like the like secret name that he gave himself, because like later on, like even like Robin Hood gets like has like a fake name, and
Right.
we at towards the end we know like why they're trying to hide that name. So I think he
Right.
just like he met his wife and everything. He was like, I'm not gonna go by Little John because like same as Robin Hood, a lot of people are probably looking for him, so he's gonna
Yeah.
go to Edward.
Yeah.
But I was just
Yeah.
confused on like how did his home get taken over and he's like okay, like
Yeah.
he's not hurt or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That part was a little confusing.
This was the
But
hardest part of the movie to understand. I couldn't hear anything.
yeah. 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 And to add with the wind in the background too, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's just really, this movie needed, next time I watch this, I'm putting subtitles on.
I would
I
watch
feel like,
the first 20 minutes again just so I can know what they're saying with
yeah.
subtitles.
Yeah. So nevertheless, Little John asked Robin Hood to help him get his house back and his wife and daughter back. And we see, I really like this scene because we immediately see the humanistic side of Robin Hood when he asks him to describe his wife and his or her hair. I thought it was a really good scene, and it made me like almost like happy. Like I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's like a good guy now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, once again, action-packed scene. We see them immediately break into the house where Robin and Little John kill the members that took over. However, before two important things. One, before we see them kill everybody, one of the members kills Little John's wife. And another important scene was we see Robin Hood shoot an arrow through the little boy's head. That was crazy.
That was a crazy
See,
shot.
I didn't think they were going to show it like that. I thought
no.
maybe a back shot, you see him get hit in the head, not full on boom right in the face,
I
dude.
should have expected because they already showed that he was willing to kill a younger, like,
Yeah,
female child, but I
yeah,
did not expect to show the full arrow and him getting, like, doinked out there.
hmm
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. No, this was a good scene. This was a good scene. And the only thing I didn't like about it was we see the boy later, and I didn't
Mhm.
know if this was a dream or not, but apparently it's not. It's real. And so I thought it was cool. I'm like, oh, that's crazy, but I'm like, come on, really? He got shot in the brain, and now he's walking. He made it home. He made it
Hey, it
home.
happens, man. It's still inside of it, so it probably cauterized to stop the bleeding. Hey,
Uh,
people
Like he
get
probably
shot in the
doesn't
brain all the
talk
time to
anymore.
survive.
yeah. But I wish I wrote it down because as Little John is praying over his wife and with his daughter, he says something to the extent of when you make up for your sins, you hate what you have to do to make up for your sins. And I was like, that's probably going to come back to what's happening with Robin Hood, and it kind of does, and we'll get there later. But it doesn't slow down. It stops, and immediately we see the family of the boy that's slain, and they want revenge, and it doesn't take long. It's like the next scene, and we have a full out fight. What do you guys think of this scene?
The
It was
first,
pretty brutal.
yeah, the first
Yeah,
guy that got shot with the arrow, I was like, oh, that was badass.
yeah,
And then it was like a very slow on the mud type of fight.
I
Mhm.
love that, man.
But
I
I
like
did
that.
like that too.
Yeah, I
It felt
really
really
like this
good.
fight scene. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
like this fight scene. It was like realistic too,
Mhm.
where like people are like gassed and just like, oh my god. And they just use the elements around them to kill each other too. It
Right.
was,
I'm
um,
glad they didn't go to the route with really, which okay, one I really kind of wanted to see a little bit more of Hugh Jackman using his bow because a lot
yeah,
of it is off screen. But
yeah,
I'm glad they didn't take the route was like cartoony of him just using the arrow constantly, hitting like headshots every single time. He
hmm
knows how to fight with other combat styles, just not with the bow. He plays
hmm
dirty also. Man, the amount of shivving in this movie, I was like,
yeah,
everyone's getting shaked in the stomach or in the leg. I was like, oh my lord. Little
fast
tiny
too, dude.
knives
Like
too,
boom,
yeah.
boom, boom.
He was like,
Yeah,
the side.
yeah, dude. No, yeah, this was awesome. And we see that the entire time I was like, "Where's Little John?" I thought they were all burning up in the house. I was like, "Oh
I thought so
no!"
too.
I was like, "Oh no!" And as we see Little John and Little Margaret escape the house, but Little John goes back in to get his wife's body. And while he's doing that, we see the elder family member. I was like, "Uh oh, this guy." He had
The
like the
full on
king.
suit.
Yeah, dude. I was like, "Uh oh, this isn't good." But it's funny. I thought this scene was coming later in the movie because in the trailer it seemed like a showdown, and so I'm like, "Oh
Mm.
man, what's gonna happen?" Yeah, and I
It's interesting
just
for me because like I didn't know anything outside this movie outside that was like in your most anticipated. I hadn't seen like a single trailer. I didn't think that guy was gonna die. Like the
yeah,
family guy was
Robin
gonna
Hood.
die. That no, not Robin Hood. The
Oh,
the family
the
guy,
yeah, yeah,
the head of the household. I didn't think he was gonna die in that scene. I thought it was gonna be like kind of like a chase type of movie.
yeah,
But I also did like how you were saying like these fights were realistic or like Robin Hood didn't just magical. It's like okay, I'm all good. Let's like go on
yeah,
this small brawl. Like he was struggling and then he got
yeah,
beat down. And I also
yeah.
do like how they start to show the signs of like he does want to die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, yeah, no, that was, yeah, really, that's a good point because, yeah, we see him like he's gonna die. It's like it's over, and he's like accepting it, like he wants it to happen, and Little John comes out of nowhere and saves him. But yeah, that was a really important scene because it shows like he knows what he's done is bad. Like he knows he's bad, you know.
yeah, and I like it because it's like he's like ready to die, but he doesn't want to go just to go. Like he could have let like the little girl in the beginning killed him easily, but he was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm gonna go down, I'm either gonna
Yeah,
go down in a fight or like the
yeah,
way I want to, not just like by letting someone just kill me randomly. Which
right.
I did enjoy that aspect, and I think I like how the movie ended because of that, because it was like
Yeah.
kind of built onto it.
Right. And so as Robin Hood is injured, Little John tells him he's going to take him to an island where there's a witch that can heal him. And once they get there, we see that it's not a witch. It is a sister, a nun. And I wasn't sure if she was a nun at first, but I looked it up and she was. And where she nurses Robin Hood back to health, and but says that like he can stay here and that he can help out and just be part of the community, which we see he's hesitant on. This is where the movie takes a major shift. There's really no action after this.
Mm-mm.
I was surprised. I was a little disappointed for the like first like 30 minutes. I was like, okay, when's something gonna happen? But then once I settled in with, okay, this is the humanism side of the story. Like, I don't think we're getting any more like action or fighting. I was like, okay, I've accepted it. But this is where you said you started liking it more, right?
I did. I don't know. It's weird because like I do know like I said the first 20 minutes were like kind of slow for me.
Yeah.
Uh but weirdly enough in this part like the pace kind of started picking up. It wasn't like perfect pacing because there were times where I was like, okay, this is kind of like dragging on a bit.
Mhm.
But I think it's just the acting and like I think as well as just like the character like just the character development that we got from Robin Hood and like
Mhm.
I forgot her name in the movie. We're just
Um, yeah, her name's Jodie Comer in real life, but
yeah.
I can't think of her name either. I'm gonna look it up. But
And I
Sister
don't know.
Bridget.
Yeah, and I also was finally able to understand what they were saying.
Yeah,
For some
yeah,
reason, everything got cleared up. Like they started talking more like English that I could understand.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I did like the humanization of like that the story did take,
Hmm.
and I do feel like I understand why Adam doesn't like it
Yeah.
because it did take like that random switch to that, and I understand
Hmm.
this would not be a movie for everyone.
Yeah. No, yeah, no. I mean, like, yeah, once you get that first 20 minutes, it kind of sets you up to not like the second half, or not even the second half, the rest of the movie, because
Yeah.
you're expecting like, okay, I was telling Maynard, Adam, while you were gone, like I was like after 30 minutes of just like basically talking and like
Mhm.
on the island, I was like, okay, I don't think there's any more action in this movie. I don't know if anything else is going to happen, and it really doesn't. Nothing does. And so at first I was a little disappointed, but then once I settled in with like, okay, now we're just doing character exploration, I was fine with it.
Mhm.
Like even the
I
stuff
was
with like
totally
tension.
fine with character exploration and diving back into like how his sins are coming back to haunt him, no matter like
Hmm.
it'll eventually come back. And
Hmm.
I didn't have an issue with that. It was more or less okay. Like it felt like they kept trying to build up to like a big conclusion into his story, into
Yeah.
like a big final act, but it kind of just ends on like a somber note. And
Hmm.
like, okay, I kind of was wanting more to see what those sins were, but
Hmm.
he kind of it just ends in a way. So
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
have been kind of shorter a little bit, I think. So
Yeah. And like you guys were saying, like we see that he's regretful and he knows his sins are coming back to haunt him because immediately he doesn't want to stay. He wants to leave because he doesn't want the people there to get hurt for his sins because he
mhm.
knows people are always coming after him. And so, as he's trying to leave, we see that little Margaret shows back up with the leper, and they find out that Little John's dead, and that the family once again got revenge on Little John. And he's immediately worried again. He's worried that the people are going to follow little Margaret there. He's worried about little Margaret and tells her never to say her father's name, which she doesn't know it's her father's name.
Mhm.
And so this is where I really started getting like, this is kind of where I was like, okay, I think this is just going to be a slow burn after this. Because after that, we just see him be part of the community.
Mhm.
I do want to shout out little Margaret, because
Hmm.
I know for a fact in the beginning she heard his name be Robin,
Hmm.
but when he asked her, was like, "What's my name?" She was like Randolph, and he's like, "Yeah, correct." I
Yeah.
was like, "Ah,
Hmm.
you know how to keep it a little secret,
Hmm.
not to
Yeah.
save your homies."
Yep.
I
Yep.
thought this was a prequel to Brave at one point.
Me too.
But I wish they dived a little bit more deeper into like that relationship, more or less, I guess, passing on to the torch or like, hey, like these are your sins now. Like
Hmm.
Tyler, this is more of straight male thought of action movie, not deeper
Hmm.
meaning or anything. Just
Hmm.
straight, okay, I hand the baton off to you and you take care of my sins or whatever. But
Yeah.
no, they didn't take that route.
Yeah. And so as we see that they slowly start becoming part of the community, and Robin Hood starts building relationships with Sister Bridget and the leper. I forgot his name. I don't know if they say his actual name in the movie, but
I think it's just Leopard.
yeah, the
Yeah.
leper.
I
Yeah.
think they did say like he was telling his story or like the legend of that story. He did mention
Hmm.
like so a name, but I can't remember what it was. Because
Mm.
he's like, oh, do you remember who this character was? Oh, he kind of hinted that's me in that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And so we see the leper tell Robin Hood just basically like, what are these trees? Basically prepping him because he knows he's dying. And
mhm.
so you kind of get the idea, okay, he's telling him all, asking him all about. I figured he was going to ask him to take care of the trees, which he does. And like you guys were saying, this leads us to the final or the scene where he finally calls Robin Hood to on his deathbed and basically shares a story like, I know who you are. We said we were going to meet each other in another life, and maybe this is it. And
Mhm.
we're not enemies, you know. And so I want you to take care of my home. This is your home now. And we still see Robin Hood very hesitant, you know, wondering if he should kill him right there, or and then accepting it and just like, okay, I guess I'm going to be part of this community. What do you guys think of this heartfelt scene?
I like that a lot.
Mhm.
I did like how you saw, I mean, a little bit of like the relation being built. And like I
Yeah.
did like how he said like in another life, like you did like Robin promised him that they were gonna like share a drink together and everything.
Hmm.
I didn't get the idea that he was hesitant on like killing him. I think he was just more scared. I was like, oh shoot, like he knows my secret.
Yeah.
But then he like immediately after he's like, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone." And like he
Hmm.
even tells him like, "Don't tell anyone about who you are. Just keep the
Yeah.
people safe and everything for as long as you
Yeah.
can." Like
Yeah.
until he dies, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they
Um,
both had like a common understanding just to keep the community safe because like if word gets out that he's here, then it will cause lots of trouble in the
mhm.
end.
Yeah, Yeah, in which we see that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But as around this time in the movie, we also see the young boy who was part of the family that killed Little John. We see him arrive on the island, and Robin Hood immediately suspects that he is from that family and suspects that he's here for a malicious reason. And we see him staring at little Margaret like with like intent, like it looks like he's like, I'm gonna get you because I know who you are. And we see Robin Hood question little Margaret about like, did they see you? She says, no, I just was told to run. I just ran. So, and this was one of my favorite scenes because I thought it had really good tension when Robin Hood asked him to go to the woods. I wasn't sure. I was like, oh man, is he gonna? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was gonna like kill him right there and
That's what I was
hide
saying.
him.
Like, I felt like there was a lot of build up.
Hmm.
It kept building up to something, but it just quite didn't go over that hill yet. Like,
Yeah,
it just kept climbing and climbing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I really think the trailer kind of set me up because I thought it was going to be about him rescuing little Margaret. That's what
Mhm.
I thought it was going to be like. He's coming out of retirement to rescue her, which is obviously not what the film's about. What you guys think of Bridget? And did you guys put it together early on when she said that her husband died really young? That what might have happened?
I did not. I'll
Me
be
either.
honest. I did
Me
not put
either.
that together.
Until she found out who he was, that's when I was like, with the way she reacted, which, once he tells, well, actually, I'm not, before we go there, what do you guys think of the cave scene?
The first
Which
one?
one?
The
Which
first
one?
one, where like, at first I was like, first of all, it kind of looked like, I don't know
She's
about you guys. Yeah, I thought she was, treating herself.
She was
Um,
getting down on herself. No, it was. That's what it was. Not
it
thinking
was
that's what was
okay.
happening.
That's what it was. That's what
Yes.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. I'm like, okay, is she praying, but I'm like, she's making some interesting. And you see her pull her hand and her dress up a little bit. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? I didn't understand why this scene was in here.
Audience, these guys are not in minds in the gutter. That's my initial first thought. What was happening? She's getting down.
I mean, that was my first thought, but I'm like, okay, what? I don't.
It didn't
I
add
just.
anything to the
It didn't add
story.
It
anything. No,
didn't.
no, I didn't understand
Well,
why that was part of it.
let's take a 1,000 yard view
Uh
or
huh.
a big view. The reason why she's doing it because her husband died young and she has no
Right.
one to care for her anymore.
Right.
That's it. That's
Right.
all I got.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I mean, I understand it. I mean, I understand it, but I'm like, okay, why is this scene in here?
But it
Like,
was like a build up to that scene too. It's not like it just immediately cut to her being inside the cave. It was like we saw her walking. And I thought it was gonna be
Mhm.
like it was gonna add something to the cave, but
yeah,
it didn't add a single thing to that cave.
yeah, because in the entire time, he even asked her like, they're like, first of all, they said she's a witch, and then we find out she's not really like a witch, and I thought that's where they were going. I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
maybe she has some
Yeah.
secret, And then they say the island has powers, so I'm like, oh, they're gonna show that, and they never do. They never show it. Like, it's never nothing. At least as far as I know, nothing's ever hinted at or shown to us that like, oh, this lady has special powers or the island does. Like, that's where I thought this scene was going, and it doesn't at all.
Well,
So,
it's like they kept saying the overarching theme of the story is like story has power, but it's
mhm.
obviously passed down from generation to generation, but just maybe a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah,
They say the island has powers or this lady has magic healing powers, but it's just
hmm,
a normal nun
island.
medicine or
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
I guess not adoption, but I mean like a rescue area for
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know really why that scene was in there. Maybe there's something in there when I rewatch it to see, like, oh, maybe okay, they're telling us
Mm,
this, but I didn't
mm-mm.
understand why.
Yeah. Just
Um,
rewatch it for that, Austin.
nah, 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 nah. And
I
so,
do
yeah.
like because I don't know if you were wanting to wait it, but I like how
Mhm.
even in the scene between Robin and Patch, no, the Jaguar.
The
What was his name?
jaguar,
What's his name? The guy who
uh,
died?
the leper,
The leopard. I do
not
like
leopard, leper,
oh
P E
leopard.
R. Yeah,
Oh,
leper. It's like a
I
sick person.
because I know you said like you didn't connect like she was talking about her husband earlier and how he
Yeah,
died young.
yeah.
I don't remember that scene at all.
Hmm.
But I do like because like you can see that her and Robin Hood were like kind of building like this like relationship that could have become romantic, and then
Yeah.
that after that conversation it stopped it because like we learned like what he did to her
Hmm.
lover, her young
Yeah.
lover.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I wasn't sure. My fiance even mentioned that she wasn't sure if they were gonna make them like get together, and I was happy they didn't. I kind of didn't want that. I wanted him to be more of like a fatherly, older, just older, mature person like figure
Hmm.
for her, an elder, if you might say. Which, by the way, we haven't said it. I thought Hugh Jackman looked great in this movie. I thought
Yeah.
he looked super badass,
Hmm.
and his performance was top tier. And so, but yeah, as instead of killing the boy, he has a change of heart and takes him across to the other island and tells him he knows. He's like, I know why you're here. And asks him if he's the only male. He's the only male heir left in his family, and tells him you need to go back home. This is not the life you want to live. You do not want to kill people. He's like, and I know. And then I love this part when he's like, and if you do come back, I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
have no remorse, and I'm gonna make sure like that you'll never heard from again. And so, like, you just see like Robin Hood still like basically like I'm like this is for real. Don't this
Yeah.
is don't basically like a gang member saying don't get in this life because it's
Hmm.
haunting. It's haunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
He's still
I really
about
like
it,
this.
even if it's a child. He's willing
Hmm.
to do it just to
Yeah,
protect these people.
yeah, and he's like, I'll have no remorse. I'll do it to protect anybody, you know.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I really like this scene. I
I
was like,
like
yes.
I like the scene a lot too because I throughout the whole like when he showed up, I also thought like there was gonna be like this like huge fight between them two, and I
Hmm.
thought that was what the climax was gonna be.
Hmm.
But I think what how he said all those things, I like this resolution better than rather than them two fighting because you could
Yeah.
tell like the boy was kind of scared, like he wasn't
Oh
even sure
yeah.
if he was ready to kill like little Margaret, but
Hmm.
Hmm.
Robin Hood was just like immediately like I've killed hundreds of children, like I cannot even remember, and like
Hmm.
I've killed their parents, their grandparents, their mothers, and
Their
everything, and
kids. Yeah.
you can see like at one point I was like the only thing I know about Robin Hood was the Disney Fox one where
Hmm.
he was literally just stealing from the rich. I was like, I did not know this man was like this dark apparently. So it's
Yeah.
like huge twist for me, at least on the
Um,
character.
Yeah, I guess it's just in this adaptation, the way they wanted to tell it. I mean, you can see like throughout the story, like he still has the same uh moral ground where take from the rich and give to the poor, but
hmm.
like you can see under his eyes like the baggage he carries with things. Like even if he stole from the rich, a lot of innocent people died too at the same time. I mean, he's
Yeah.
killed a lot of people. Like that boy, the boy had nothing to do with it at the beginning of the story. I mean, he was just part
Hmm.
of that family and got shot in the
Yeah.
eye and wiped out a
Yeah.
whole line basically. So he
Hmm.
hurt a lot of innocent people too, which is crazy.
Yeah. Which is why I wish I wrote down that Little John quote because it like he basically said your redemption your sins of redemption will still haunt you, and it's like he's having to kill to protect the people he loves, but he hates doing it, and it
Hmm.
haunts him. And so yeah, when he comes back to the island, we see his sister Bridget like happy to see him. She's like, oh, I thought you left for good, and he tells her, I'm the Robin, I'm the outlaw Robin, and immediately you see her like just gasp, like totally like, and she starts crying and immediately leaves. So that's when I put together, oh, I think he has something to do with the death of her husband,
But that
It's
was
which
that
interesting
was
because
already
they already
told.
because they already teased that already at the beginning when that guy was dying. He's like, "Are you gonna tell her?" And he's like, he didn't really answer. So we were kind of knew at that point where he killed her husband
Oh,
or
see,
caused
I didn't put
something.
it together. I didn't put it together there. I thought he was just saying, "Would
Oh.
you tell her that you're Robin Hood?" Because everybody knows Robin Hood, or at least some. Well,
I thought that was
I don't
spoon fed to the
know.
No,
audience.
no, he like literally said he's like, don't tell her
It's a
you're
full
Robin
question.
Hood because
Yeah.
like you're the one that killed her lover. which I
He
didn't know.
said
Like,
that for.
Yeah,
yeah,
he said it
yeah.
was direct. He's like, you killed her lover, basically. That's
So
why
don't
she's.
tell
Oh,
him. Don't tell her that you're Robin.
I did not hear him say like that. I heard him say, "Don't tell her that you're Robin Hood." And I just thought that was just because.
No.
I didn't hear him say the lover part. Okay, okay,
Yeah, no.
so that changes. Well, it doesn't really change anything, but yeah. So we see Robin Hood tell her, and we see that he what? Why is he laying on the bed? Is he just laying in the bed, just laying down? In that scene where there's a big fire and she's like covered in paint. I thought
I
she was
think.
gonna.
Yeah, I think he's just
He's
laying in
just
pain.
chilling.
Yeah.
Where she
that's a very
revealed.
odd scene to me because I was like, what are they celebrating something? Is this like a hallucination from Hugh Jackman's character? I was like, I don't know what. That was a very just like us. I did not understand what was going on during that
Yeah, me
point in the
neither.
movie.
Yeah, yeah. This was a little strange. I thought she was gonna kill him right there, and it, she kind of tries to, but then she has a change of heart. And we see that not only did Robin Hood kill her husband and set the house on fire, but she says she knows her husband was alive during the fire because he was holding their kids, their children.
Mhm.
Which I was like, oh
Oh, which is
man,
dark. Yeah,
I'm like, oh man, he's fucked.
yeah.
There's no way she's gonna forgive him. And we see her draw. Adam, what were they doing? What was she doing? Like, because she did it at the beginning of the movie too, where she draws blood from his veins. Do you know what she was doing?
I guess it was a form of medicine, like letting out like the bad blood and let your body reheal with like healthy blood. Because
Hmm.
that's a common thing that it was doing back then. Like you drain out like the bad like affected areas, like all
Okay.
infection out, and then you just
Yeah.
replenish over some time. You keep draining yourself, but
Hmm.
just man, it'll be hard to live during that time. My lord,
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
expectancy is 40 years old at tops.
Oh yeah, tops.
Yeah.
And so we see her prick or slice his vein once again, and she's letting it run. Um, and he's basically, I mean, the whole movie he's accepted his death. He's like, if I die, I'm gonna die. And
Well, that
she
was
stops it.
that she pricked a different part because that technicality because she was doing his veins majority of the time that I
Yeah.
was looking at, and then that instant she did his artery, which will cause you to
Oh,
actually bleed out. Because when you bleed out from a vein is not too bad, but the artery is the main one. Once you bleed
okay.
out from an artery, you can't get enough blood to rest of your body.
Yeah.
You can't recover.
Yeah. And we see she has a change of heart because that's just not who she is. She saves people, she helps people, and she doesn't kill, even though he killed her family. Um,
Hmm.
this is where I was like, it's getting a little shaky for me because
Yeah.
immediately after this, they're kind of friends again. Like, they're not enemies necessarily. They're not friends, but they're
Well,
like,
you just said she forgave him, so in a way, it's like they're kind of in a way friends. She got over it in a way. That's just the way life
but
is at that point.
yeah, I know, but it was just I didn't get the vibe that she forgave him. I just got the vibe that she wasn't a killer.
Yeah.
And then when they start becoming friendly again, I'm like, wait, no, I don't like this. A mother, if it was just her husband, okay, I can understand. But her kids,
Her
I'm like, no
kids, yeah.
mother would ever forgive someone who murdered their kids on
Yeah.
accident or not. And I get the vibe that it was an accident, but who knows? We see that he's willing to do anything. He's willing to kill children, at least to save
But
himself.
I don't think she forgave him. But I think it's like how she even said like I have this life because of like of what she did. So I
Yeah,
think it's like she knows, and I even like
which I didn't
during
like
his
that.
towards the end, like when he's telling the story to little Margaret, and this is the whole thing about the movie as well. It's like stories are not how people tell them because Robin Hood throughout the whole movie was like, all these stories are not real, like they're not like how they are. But then
Yeah,
he kind of switches up at the end and tells them like how he saw it, or like probably just frame it in a better way.
yeah,
So I think like she loved her husband, but I feel like he wasn't the best man.
yeah.
Mhm.
And like I think she probably loved her kids more, but I think like she could have gone down this path of like being a horrible person or like being caught in revenge because that's a whole other thing about the movie. But she didn't. She found this like castle. She was started to help people, and I think she built her own community. And I think that's the part of her that's like I can't kill him, and she's mad, but then essentially she's like grateful because like she has this community because of what he did to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a gray area, I feel like.
I just didn't buy it. Like I said, if it was just her husband, then maybe. But I'm like, so you're saying like, oh, I wouldn't have this life if you didn't kill my kids. Like, I'm like, what mother would say that? Like, I didn't like that dialogue. I didn't like that writing. But we see that she lets Hugh Jackman live, and basically immediately after that he tells her like, I want to die, like I don't want to be here anymore, I need to pay for my sins. And once again he lays down in the bed, she pricks him, and she goes to save him, but he tells her to just let it go. And this is where he tells little Margaret the story of her dad. He tells her who her dad really was. I like this story. I thought it added character depth too when they said like, "Why'd you call him Little John?" It's like, oh, because he's been around since he was your age. So I was like, dang, he was like, that was like his son almost, you know? Like Little John was like a son to him. And so you just see like it just adds more tragedy to his story. And I thought it was important, Maynard, like you said, he said like, we did things to bad people. Like we did, he said it like multiple times,
Emphasizing it.
emphasizing it. So it makes you think like, oh, maybe her husband wasn't the best guy, which is why I'm like, okay, if they would have kept it where he just killed the husband, it'd make a little bit more sense. Cause then you're like, okay, maybe her husband was a bad guy. She knows this, where she can kind of forgive him.
The way he was saying it and portraying it and really emphasizing like we were killing bad people, he was just more or less like gaslighting her in a way. It's like, okay, I'm actually not that bad, but just trying to like sugarcoat it because she's a kid and you don't want to like ruin like the visual of representation of what her dad was, because she doesn't know what his name was and who he was. But he kind of wanted to give her like a last parting gift to see, okay, hey, don't see your dad or me as someone that was very vengeful and bad people.
Yeah.
I think it was a way just to kind of cover, just like, okay, well, give a good lasting image on my life and your dad's life. Don't say or listen to people what the people are saying about us that will like cloud the judgment of her in a way.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
Yeah. I thought it was really important where he tells her never mention your dad's name, because there's going to be people because of him that are looking to hurt you. And so yeah. And that's basically where our story ends. And you know, she shoots her arrow that he made her, and that's it. I really enjoyed this. The second half of the movie is really a humanistic exploration, and it really brings the question of like, okay, like you guys were saying, like, okay, we know that most people view him as a bad person, but everybody at this island views him as a good person and like a caring person. You see Sister Bridget see his interaction with little Margaret and be a father figure and hug her and take care of her and teach her. But then like she, you know, finds out that like he killed her family. So it shows like what is a good person, you know, because like you have these people whose parents do terrible things. Like, you know, you find out, oh, my dad or killed these people, but it's like still your dad, you know, it's like, that's not my experience with that person. My experience is this was a father, you know? So that's why I love this guy's movies, because in every single one of his movies, he brings a humanism approach. Like even in The Quiet Place, like I love the dancing scene, like, or the card scene, that just like, man, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm just going to go ahead and give you my rating now. I thought this was a very, very, very strong 7 out of 10. If it had a little bit more action, it would have been an 8 for me. Even just like another fight scene or something. But I was happy with the exploration of Robin Hood as a human and as a character.
Mhm.
What
Maynard,
about
you
you
want to go ahead?
guys?
I give this a 6.
Mm,
I think this movie is definitely tailored to not certain people, but like to an audience of like they like these type of stories. I luckily didn't go into this movie knowing anything about it. Didn't see a single trailer, so I didn't know what to expect. And I do like the just like a different take on Robin Hood because like I said,
yeah.
like I grew up with like the Disney version, so it's like all like he's all good, just stealing from the poor, and I
Hmm.
think that's what they're doing. But it's like there's more to that. Like you, if you kill someone that's rich, there are gonna be people that are gonna try to hunt you down, and then
Hmm.
in defense, you're gonna have to kill the whole lineage or whatever.
Yeah.
I do think it's it's okay paced. It is really long movie though. It's like I think 2 hours, and by the
Yeah.
times it feels longer than the 2 hours. So that's why
Yeah.
you also give it a 6. I think if you really do like, if you come into this movie blind, I think you'll like it more instead of you watching the trailer. Because I
Mm.
like Austin said, like in the trailer, there's shows like it made him think like there was a huge
More
fight scene in the beginning.
action. Yeah.
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 So I didn't come into that thinking like, oh, I'm missing out more action. There's a climax that I thought was gonna happen between the kid and Robin Hood, which
Hmm.
was a fight. There wasn't a fight, it was more of a dialogue, and I really liked that dialogue. So it just depends. Also, I saw all 7 seasons of Game of Thrones, and there was a lot of episodes where it was just them talking. So it's like
Yeah.
kind of used to that type of pacing as well. So that's why I give it a
Hmm.
6. It's not gonna be for everyone, but I think the dialogue is not terrible at all. I think it's really good dialogue throughout the movie.
Yeah. Adam?
Well, Z-listers, I'm gonna take what Maynard said and talked about. If you go in blind, you might enjoy it. Well, I went in blind and did not quite enjoy it the way I wanted to. I don't remember seeing a trailer for it.
Hmm.
The only reason why I knew about this movie because it was on Austin's most anticipated list,
Hmm.
and I saw a poster. And I was like, okay, I'm expecting end of Robin Hood's career, like Logan type style,
Hmm.
type of storytelling, which fine, it was fine. The first 20 minutes was amazing. I enjoyed that, but I think that's what kind of turned my brain. Okay, this is what type of movie it's going to be for the rest of the movie. And then when it took a hard like 180 and doing more of the character and like development and about his all his past sins coming back to haunt him, and he's like is catching up to him. What he's gonna do? That I get that. That's fine. You can do that type of story building, but I felt like every single time there were something like critical was happening in the movie in regards to the young boy coming back to the island,
Hmm.
okay, seeking a revenge to kill Margaret, or taking him back to the other side of the island and having that big talking, sending him back out onto the onto land to go back to his family, thinking, okay, well, this is what's Megan and I thought this was going to be the final act. That young boy is not going to listen, bring
Yeah.
back this whole clan and kind of raids this church island and all that stuff to hunt down Robin Hood. It didn't
Mm.
take that route. It took more of a character study in regards to, okay, he's lived so long, he's um rationalized. I guess that's the word you can use.
Yeah.
Like what he's done, he's fine with it. He's come to peace,
Hmm.
and he just wants Margaret to live a long and healthy life to make sure they're safe. He doesn't want to bring his sins to them. In regards to like Robin Hood stories, the only one I never seen the Disney animated version. The only one I have is the terrible one with Taron Egerton and
Oh,
Jamie Foxx.
yeah.
Um, and then I guess I don't know, was that Matt Damon one though?
No, Russell
The
Crowe.
Russell
final one.
Crowe. Russell Crowe. Yeah.
That's
I
the
didn't
only
like that.
experience I have.
I didn't. Yeah.
Um, but I will still say I enjoy what they were trying to tell. I will
Hmm.
give this a pretty soft 6 out of 10.
Hmm.
If they did have another like 10 to 15 minutes of like a good final act with maybe some more action with Robin Hood, like ending his
Hmm.
career, showing what skills he has, this will probably be a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
A little bit longer, like the scene of the cave stuff had no like point of the whole story. They keep showing the
Yeah.
cave and cave has powers and stuff like that, but it really didn't come to anything.
Hmm.
Uh, but if maybe you cut those things out, maybe it'd be a little bit better paced.
Hmm.
But this movie, if you like these type of dialogue movies, like Maynard said, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons, which came out Sunday. all have that long expositions type of episodes, but it's just I guess the way you direct it in regards to the storytelling, not just dragging it on in a way.
Yeah.
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 I will
Um,
say 3 people walked out of the movie theater after
Yeah,
he
a
dang.
couple of
reached the
people walked out of
castle.
mine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I do think
Mm,
that 180 turn really will turn off a lot of people because the first 20 minutes there, it is action packed, and then it's
hmm.
not that at all. And it was
Yeah.
like 20 minutes after he got there,
Dude,
like they just
walking out of the
walked
movie
out.
in this economy is crazy.
I
You
Yeah, it
saw
gotta
them. I
pay
was
is.
for
like, what
that
the
ticket.
hell?
Unless
Yeah.
you're an A-lister, but paying for that movie and walking out, they had a
Yeah.
full snacks and drinks and everything. I know that shit costs around $40.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
I
they
was
just
kind of,
wasted their
I was
time.
like, I don't know why they walked out, but yeah.
Yeah, that's I think that's one of the bigger mistakes in this movie because it's like an album. Like if you're going like a rap album and it starts off hard and then the rest of the album is like soft music, it sets you up and it's like, oh, it's like especially if you're like just a regular person and if you like action movies and like if I showed this to my dad, he'd be like, "Man, that was good." The first 20 minutes. And then if the rest of the whole hour and a half was just like dialogue, he'd be like, "What happened to the movie I was watching?"
Yeah.
You know?
That's when my dad asked me about it. Should I go watch it? I said, no, you will
Mhm.
not enjoy this
Yeah,
type of movie.
yeah, yeah. So like it kind of sets you up, which is I think at the detriment of the movie for a lot of people. I this movie has been getting mixed reviews,
Mhm.
and I've been seeing a lot of people not liking the violence, which I think is ridiculous. But yeah, I don't. I just yeah, it shouldn't have started off with just pure action and then just went into pure dialogue.
I
I
think because
just
the violence, like compared to the rest of the movie, does not match what the rest of the
yeah,
movie is. So I can kind
Yeah.
of see that, but it's the other way around. The violence does not compare to like how slow paced the rest of the movie is as well.
yeah. I thought it was interesting, like you guys been saying Disney a lot, because Disney's very famous for adapting those scary stories, like horror stories of like Cinderella and stuff. Like you guys have heard of, like Cinderella's not a happy story; it's actually like an
Hmm.
evil story. And so, like, I think that's like Christopher Columbus. We always heard like, oh yeah, he discovered America, and then as you get older, you realize, oh, he murdered so many people.
Yeah.
Like he was an awful person, but he
Sorry, Chad,
discovered
not funny.
America. It's like yeah, like so. I thought it was really like it's true when stories get passed down over years and years. Like the truth, you don't know what the truth is.
Right.
And so it's just like a game of telephone. And so yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
what the
guys.
basically the main point of this story was is a whole big story of telephone. I mean, all the
Yeah.
stories are passed down, but it's not told the way it actually happened. So
Hmm. Right.
I do want
Right.
to just before we end, I want
Hmm.
to add a little bit something new
Yeah.
with you two. I want y'all to try to guess the main Rotten Tomato score and the audience Rotten Tomato score. So,
Ooh.
out of percentage. So, I'll let Maynard go first on the critics Rotten Tomato score.
I feel like for the critics, it's gonna be like a 64.
Okay.
So I actually know the number. I saw the
Okay.
I saw the I saw the critics, right? I didn't see the audience. So is it
Okay.
60? Is it
Boom.
60?
Maynard is right. It's closer. 67 now.
67.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the audience score? How did the audience perceive the death of Robin
Ooh.
Hood?
I'm gonna give it a
I'm
50.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
75.
Dang, you think people enjoy it 75%?
I don't
Oh my
know.
God.
With me and
What
Adam
is
You
it?
experiencing
might be
people
right.
walking out.
What
And
is
it
it?
actually, you are not right. It is actually at 58%. So,
Oof.
Uh,
Yeah. See,
yeah,
like I said, mix. I really think
it's
it has mostly
50-50.
to do with the change in pace.
Hmm.
Just the total transition of the type of movie you're getting is I think is going to turn a lot of people off. Like you guys said, it made people walk out of the theater, which is actually like that's kind of crazy.
yeah.
But like you're just going to be like, what? Like just the average person, especially if you like action movies, you're going in thinking like, dang, this is dark, this is like brutal, this is action, and then there's none for the rest of the movie, and
You
so
know what? Actually, don't go into this movie blind. Guys, the first 20 movies is
yeah,
action. The last hour and a half. It's slow pace.
Yes, yeah, good but slow pace.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, the people
slow
that already
pace.
at this point of the review, they already seen it.
Yeah,
So.
right. So yeah. But yeah, guys, that was our The Death of Robin Hood review. Let us know what you think. Did you think the change in pace was good? Did you prefer the less violence? I know some people don't really like violence like that. So, did you guys agree with us that they shouldn't have changed the pace or they should have blended it a little bit better? Let us know in the comments. But follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and listen to us on Spotify if you don't have time to watch the videos. But we'll see you guys next week.
Oh,
Peace.
next episode is going to be the review of Toy Story 5 and Supergirl. So look out for that in the next couple of days. I don't know
Yep.
if I'm going to be doing it solo or not, but it should be coming out in the next 3 days.
Austin, you can do the Toy Story 5 with them.
Have you seen it
I
already?
don't. No, we're gonna go watch Supergirl though, so I'll definitely do that
Supergirl.
one. Yeah, I'll definitely do that one. But yeah, guys. Once again, we'll see you guys next week. Oh, and be on the lookout for our mid-year favorite movies of the mid-year so far.
We're still deciding if we're going to do mid-year awards or just our top 3 so far, because I feel like our reviews can tell what our top
Yeah.
3 or 4 are, but maybe we just give out mid-season awards. We'll see.
Yeah.
All-star break.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. But we'll check you guys. We'll see you guys next episode. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.